Hello, everyone, and welcome to PSGL PCF3 for season 32.
You caught
that
me
that
by
was weird to
surprise there.
say. That was weird to say, but it's good to say. F3 worked
It
our way
is.
up, but and alongside me, as usual, is Joshua Birch. Hello, Josh.
Hello, you massively caught me by surprise. I was just trying to get myself stop talking. So you suddenly, it's been quiet in our earphones for like 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden I hear hello. Honestly, made me jump. But that's something to get the adrenaline going as well. Hi Richie, nice to be back with you, and nice to be back again on PSGL. This time with F3. So
Mhm.
as you said, working our way up. Slowly we'll take control. So watch out, everybody. But I'm loving this. We're back, and it's going to be a great race. The lobby's filling up as well, all looking exciting as always. And let's just get going because this is going to be another
Yeah,
brilliant season.
it's going to be absolutely amazing. We're here at Spain for the first round. I think Spain in itself isn't the best Grand Prix, but for a first round, I think it's solid. You know, it's perfect for the first race. Obviously, F2 shown it was good for a race in yesterday when we went from
Mm.
dry to wet nearly instantly, a bit like Russia in 2021 in the real life F1. But it is great to be back. And yeah, people who've watched F4, you'll be like, hang on, what did it say F3? You should be on F4. No, We've
Yeah, moved
we've
up.
take yeah, we've moved up, and yeah, it's going to be good. But we're going to have a look at the driver lineup. We haven't got an official thing with the teams, but we've got a graphic with all the drivers, and I'm going to talk through the teams itself because I consider lobby. Um, Taking up Mercedes is, I believe, Sergio Sabrino and Oscar Villacampa. Red Bull is Zoltan Boda, and let me have a little look because I can find it somewhere.
Great grid
Zolt,
though, and full
it is
20 coming up. Yeah,
Zoltan
a few
Boda
reserves in.
and Floris Wires. That was it, Floris Wires, who's I think at one point nearly at F1 Esports. So it's nice to have someone like him here in F3. Then we got Ferrari, which is Jake Finch and Philip Waters. Followed by McLaren, who've got Yona Martins and Danny Lusink. Danny isn't going to be able to make it today, so we'll have someone in place for him. Then Alpine, we've got Yone Dovzam and Olaf Socko. Dovzam was the season 30 F4 champion on the PC side. Then we've got AlphaTauri with Modesto Mina and Cameron Dowd. Cameron Dowd raced last season in F4 and was fourth position. Then we've got the Alfa Romeos with Harlan Marquis and Bogdan Moldovan. Bogdan was the runner-up in season 30. No, sorry, the champion in season 30 and the runner-up in season 31. He's finally moved up to his place in F3 and he's going to be alongside Alfa Romeo development driver Harlem. Then Aston Martin have got Leroy Brown, last season's champion, and lefted. Leroy Brown is going to be able to make it again today due to some FPS issues. Then we got Haas with two former F5 drivers of Vincent Nyquist, who was the F5 champion last season, and then Theon McKee, who takes the other seat beside him. And then Williams have got a pretty OG team, and a team I
Yeah.
want to do well, which is Louis Welch, who was a driver for F1 in season 30, and then Tom 97 Martinez, who, if people don't know him, he's driving many top tier leagues, and he's also an F1 YouTuber with over 80,000 subscribers. And obviously, our reserves, we've got Jack Humphreys, Jeremy Glenner, Marcus Toulay, Corey DeBacca, and Codor Ningolo.
Yeah, Corey DeBacca, Jack Humphreys, and Jeremy Glur are going to be racing tonight as
Mm-hmm.
well in the lobby, as we've been talking about. But what a great Pekka drivers coming up there as well. Again, competitive and can easily hold it up with the F2 and
Mm-hmm.
F1 drivers that we've got in the PSGL League as well. So that looks absolutely fantastic. And also, we were joking about when we came back on air with Lewis Welsh as well, calling Louis Welsh. And we've already got some nicknames coming up throughout as well. Because we couldn't work out, is it Louis or is it Lewis? Because there's different spellings of both of them, isn't there? But
Yeah,
it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And they're still just prepping up 18 drivers in the lobby, which gives us time to take a look at the calendar
it does.
for this season as well. Just like in season 30 as well, there was season 31, I should say as well. There was a total of 11 rounds. Now in season 32, it's once again going to be 11 rounds, starting off here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia in Spain. As well, then next week we go over to Bahrain at Shakir. A week later, we're in the Netherlands at Zandvoort for round 3. controversial one to have Canada as round 4. A lot of people saying it's quite a tricky track to overtake. That's one of my favourites. Even more controversial, though, is Monaco. Round 5 of the season in early December is going to be fantastic, and we'll keeping our fingers crossed and praying that they make it a night race to make it even more special. Last race as well before the Christmas break, the holiday break, is at Silverstone. And then after we celebrate all the Christmas and Hanukkah, we go over as well for the Portuguese Grand Prix at Portimao on the 7th. Round of the season as well. That'll be in early January. A week later, we're at the Circuit des Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium for round 8. Australia makes its return to the calendar as well, round 9 of the season. United States in Austin, Texas is round 11, and then just as you should, the season rounds out in Abu Dhabi as well on the first weekend of February. But by then, I believe in January, early time as well, the F1 guys will get going.
They will.
Next season as well. Lewis is already saying, I'm coming last, man, crying out loud. So it looks like it could be. Already we've got controversy with their own drivers out there.
But I've got to say, we've got 11 amazing tracks coming up. I think the first 5 rounds will be the hardest. Spain, always a bit of a difficult track. Then we've got Bahrain, that's very difficult with the braking zones. Zandvoort, Canada, and Monaco in a row. That's going to be a difficult 3 rounds for many drivers. Some might like it, but I think the majority will be a bit disliked to those 3 being together in the order. But today, we've only got Spain to focus on, and we're now going to take a look at the track.
Let's take a look around the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya in Spain. 2.904 miles, 16 turns, 2 DRS zones as well. Fast lap round here, 1:16.741. This challenging, demanding track is a favourite of all. At the last corner then, and booted hard down towards turn number 1. It's one of the longest runs of the first corner on the calendar, 600 metres odd down towards turn 1 for pole position. Hit the brakes at around about 70 metres, let the car drift in throughout the first 2 corners. Don't fight it too much because it all will compromise your run to the long sweeping right-hander at turn 3. Uphill now towards turn 4 at Repsol as well, a late braking zone followed by 2 very late apexes. The car drifts out wide as you head downhill once again into Seat. Brake at 60 metres, flick the car in as well, carry as much speed as the exit, don't go all 4 wheels off the road, otherwise you'll have your lap time deleted. Up to the little kick at 7, and this into the chicane at 7 and 8. Rise up the hill once again, flat out through turn 9 as well at Campsa. A little bit of brave I was on the accelerator there. Downhill towards turn 10. Back to how it used to be as well, so you can carry more speed into the late apex. The car automatically with the understeer wants to force you out wide. No horrible bump as you come in towards turn 11 and 12. Double apex right once again. Now a part of the track that nobody likes, the chicane. 13 a right-hander, then it's a left-right, 14, 15. Sausage curves here, absolutely brutal. You can definitely lose your lap time on the exit. Round the last corner, turn 16 at New Holland. Flat out, DRS open, run to the line, and that is a lap of the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya.
So we're now on track for the first time this season. It's gonna be great. I can't wait. And a quick reminder from our sponsor, GT Omega. If you do purchase one of their products and put in code PSGL, you will get a 5% discount. So if you're looking for a birthday present for someone or a little treat for yourself, make sure to use the code PSGL.
Green light is on and qualifying is underway then for the first time this year in PSGL PC F3 in season 32. We're watching Lefted right now, just leaving around turn 10 as well, just getting ready for a faster lap time. Lewis Welsh is just behind him as well. Philip Walters going P3. We should get Richie some 1:15.9s, 1:16.1 sort of lap times to begin with. But unlike with yesterday in F2, with a bit of clouds, it's beautiful blue skies at the moment.
It is, yeah. And I was going to add one thing, as on, my little ritual and tradition. Yes, the audio's still got issues. That's something out of my control. That's to do with He ate his job at making the game. And if there's any issues with the audio, please let me know in the chat, and it would be very greatly appreciated. Right, that's that over. And carry on, Josh.
Yeah, it's literally becoming your little tradition, isn't it? Because they can't get their own game right at the moment sometimes. But hopefully, we've been told they will have a patch eventually. It's called F123. Comes out next year because we're 6 months into the development cycle. They're not going to do anything now. Anyway, left is setting his first lap time. Then sector 1 was okay. We've got a lot of traffic in the first sector as well. So let's hope they're not going to back off on the lap times. Saw that yesterday in F2. Eventually, the amount of traffic we had. Left in comes up. Second sector time is at the breaking point for turn 10. It's a 50.889 as he rounds Le Calex as well. Uphill, 10, 11, and 12. Double apex now, right-handers. And the chicane, Richie, that nobody likes at all, stays. And I hate it so much.
Yeah, I don't like that chicane. Everyone hates it. I think it's pretty clear. But we'll watch Lefty now come to the line. What time does he set? A 16.4 for the first time. Next coming across the line will be... It won't be Philip, it'll be Jake. And Jake goes quickest by over a tenth and a half. And then next across the line will be Mercedes. No, Vincent Knight, goes first with a 16.320. Then his teammate, Theon, goes just behind with a 16.5. Cameron Dowd, a 16.678. And then the Red Bull of Floris Wires goes third with a 16.4. Next,
Chris goes top then, 116.3, and then they're separated by about another 17 thousandths of a second at the top. So that's a great little jump there. As well for first lap time, pretty much exactly where we were expecting the benchmarkers. We wanted to get down to a 116.0, 115.9 if anyone was brave enough, because the drivers in F3 just as quick as the drivers in F2, but the placements, as well as we talked about yesterday, they're just so close between everybody as well in terms of the times that people set, and then of course they get placed on their overall racecraft, which is looking good. Lewis, a W for P20. At the moment, Lewis is not 20th. He is, where is he on the board? 11th. So 135.668. So I might just stay there. But Jack Humphries is done a 138.069. So he's pretty much off the pace as well.
Right, so Coldorn is on the mediums. Because I remember we had that thing where you can change tyre compound, but I don't have a clue why I went onto the mediums, because it's just taking him a 20.0. I don't know if that's just so we can get a banker lap, but that's 4 seconds off the pace. We'll look at who should we'll look at Tom Martinez, also known as Tom97, an F1 YouTuber. He's now coming in towards the mid part of sector 2, up towards the long straight, and then into turn 10, isn't it? Which had that change. It's less of a hairpin, it's now just a long corner, long left-hander, a bit like turn 3, but in reverse. In sector 2, Tom is on a 50.9. I think that was about a tenth of what Lefty was managed to do, so should put him around P6, P7. But we'll see him now come in towards the horrible chicane, which I really hate. It's my least favourite corner in F1, or section, I should say. Let's see now what is Tom able to do. You're able to get yourself into that top. I'd say you can get yourself into that top 8 easily. Sergio Sobrino goes 6th fastest with a 16.5. What can Tom do? 6th fastest with a 16.4. Well,
you're good at this, Richie.
Well, you know, I don't like to say it, but I seem to do it every single race nearly, especially last season. I think I got someone's time on the dot at one point.
But when on board, Monaco,
yeah. Oh, was it Monaco? We didn't race at Monaco, did we?
Monaco, Monza.
Monza, that was it. Yeah, I think it. Who was it now? Was it Cameron Dowds? I think it was. I think it was Cameron Dowds.
Yeah, because Moldovan won the race, and that fantastic one that everybody started losing their minds with.
Yeah.
Moldovan in 13th at the moment, though. Our F4 graduate as well, of a champion he was a 2 series champion, isn't he?
No, he was one. A comment about Bogdan Moldovan. I remember after F4 finished in season 30, he was champion because Jurna had a really bad race in Brazil because it was raining. Yeah. Bogdan won the championship. He didn't get promoted to F3 in season 31. I remember him saying how angry he was about that. He got placed back into F4, and finally his chance in F3 is here. It took him 2 seasons, being a champion and a runner-up, for them to be like, you know what? Maybe he's good enough for F3. Even though we knew from the start of F4 in season 30 he was more than good enough.
Yeah, very quick driver, so I'm going to expect a lot of high praise from him as well, as we see coming through. Luke Humphrey says Lewis outside the 107% rule. Absolutely correct. A 127.838.
Oh,
And it's Modesto Mena who has gone top with a 116.292.
bravo. What a lap
So
from
that's
Modesto Mina there.
11.6 seconds off the pace is Louis Welch. As well. If this was the X Factor, he's getting a no from me with that one.
I have to agree.
Why do they have to purposely try
Yona,
this?
P2.
Yeah, Yona Martins. Great job there.
Philip, 10th. Someone says he's Louis on wheel or pad. I'm not actually sure. Well, he's whatever he's on, it's something he's not used to because he, I think being, 11 seconds off the pace is nearly as bad as a 2021 Haas. Not quite there, but nearly.
Well, I could just say it's Nikita Mazepin. Move on.
Oh, he's on wheel. That's why, because he's normally he's like the pad goat, but he's on a wheel this time, so he's going to be a little bit slow up. Fionn McKee, I thought he was setting that, but he's not. I think he's starting one this time. Fionn McKee, currently 11th position in his Haas, come all the way from F5, so he's had a nice big jump. So let's see what he can do now on his second flying lap.
Yeah, I think his last lap time deleted.
Oh.
I'm just having a look. Modesto Mena has come back into the pit lane as well. Who's got a fantastic name as well. It sounds like something that Dumbledore said in the film. Arresto Momentum.
Jake Finch, fastest, the 16.1. Now that one came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It has.
What setup is that on that Ferrari as well to do that? Everyone's now on soft compound tyres, by the way. So the mediums that we were seeing earlier on being tested are not going to be the qualifying tyres.
But the issue with that is a Ferrari on pole in Spain. It doesn't exactly end well, does it? For all these Ferrari fans, I'm sorry, you might want to mute us now because I will give you some kind of PTSD. But Leclerc was dominant in Spain, and then his engine cut out halfway through. Yeah, if Jake Finch is able to do that today, then he's got to hope his engine doesn't cut out in a game where the engine shouldn't cut out. But Flores Suarez goes second with a 16.1, and McKee now, what's he able to do? He's able to improve. No, he's not. 11 hundredths off his time. That is a shame indeed. Gone with Cameron Downs.
Yeah, that came out the last corner for Fionn as well, McKee. Just got a little bit of oversteer, not too much hand there as well. So Jake Finch put that time down to a 1:16.116. He talks about the ideal qualifying lap time of 1:15.9, 1:16.0 with 8 minutes to go in the session.
Well, I'm board with Cameron Downs. I had to just double check in the chat. Cameron Downs is not on a time, but we'll stick with him because in the chat, Cameron's dad is back again.
Hey!
So what? I know, yeah, he's came with us. So Cameron's dad back with us again. That's amazing. Hello, Cameron's dad, and hello, Cameron. I went on to Cameron's video and thought, hang on, I need to see if he's been in the chat, and he has. Oh, is he? That's not good. Sabrino, purple set to 1, 700ths up in that first sector on his previous time. Let's see, he's able to get himself into that top 10. He's only got to get one position. That's only half a tenth from Arlen Marquis, who's still in the pit lane. But Sergio Sabrino, I've seen his name about. I believe he was in F2 at one point. I don't know why, but he's just got that memorable name. Yeah. But yeah, coming through down the straight now in towards turn 10. The really tricky, but it's still quite a tricky corner, even though it's been changed. Quick is in set to 2, a tenth and a half up on his time. And he's invalidated.
I said it in the lap attack guide as well. At that part of the track, he just wants to pull you out to the outside as well. And it's very hard, as you said. It's a very difficult corner to get right. And he's backed off completely now and let everybody else through. So that's disappointing for Sergio Sabrino there. As it is.
It is indeed. But watching Jack Humphries now, see, can he improve on his time? He does improve to P8, and now we're going to move to the GOAT, Louis Welch, who's at the bottom currently. 10 seconds quicker in Sector 2, so he's made an improvement. Currently looking at a 1:17. Let's see what Louis Welch can do coming through the final sector of this track. Is he able to improve into that top 10? That's the main question. Louis Welch now into the final section of the track. Final corner, nice and early on the pedal on the exit. And we can see his Williams now coming round. The final corner, what can he do? He improves to a 17.1, puts in P18, which is a shame. So I'll move on to Kodor now, who's let off his lap. So that's a shame for him. Modesto is on a lap, so we'll go on board with him. Josh, you want to talk through his lap?
Yeah, absolutely. Coming through now, down towards turn number 10. Very hard as well on the brakes. Fastest in the middle sector, up by 0.138. Good exit and acceleration. Double apex, I said, into 11 and 12. Fifth gear, full throttle. Now, this is where the lap really starts to get away from you. The sausage curbs at 15 and 16 are really hard. If you get wide, you lose the entire lap time. Out of New Holland, open up the DRS, flat out towards the line in 7th gear, and it's the fastest time for Modesto Mena, 1:16.098. That is the pole time we were looking for. Can anybody beat it and go to a 1:15.9 like we saw yesterday in F2?
Well, we're going to go on board with Jake Finch now, who's currently started his lap just after Modesto come off the line to take provisional pole. Jake Finch, I didn't actually see if he was up or not in Sector 1. I don't think he's finished it yet.
Down by 0.071.
So that isn't all of it gone for him then. He's still got to be able to get it in Sector 2. So yeah, we'll see what Jake Finch can do. Unless he lets off the lap, then we'll obviously move off to someone else. But Jake Finch, has he let off?
Backed off. Yeah, should be quicker through Kamsa than that.
We'll go on board with Jonah Martins, who's currently coming through into Sector 1 now in the McLaren. McLaren, I think he's the race engineer, and he's 4 seconds down, so we'll get rid of him. We'll go on board with Lefted, also known as Conor Muir. I think if I said that right. He's just coming through Sector 2 now in the Aston Martin. Looking very good with a 16.3 for his first lap time.
That's just looking very good at the moment as well as they come through. I want to say Corey DeBacco as well, literally, maybe 19th, but it's one of our reserve drivers. And when I say reserve drivers, they were called up 5 minutes before qualifying started. Just got back home, got into the sim rig, and started qualifying. That is utter commitment.
It is. I'll give you a rundown of why people aren't here. So, Yona Dovsan, not sure why. Danny Lusink, not sure why. Olaf Zucker, I believe he had something, a doctor's appointment or something like that. He's not able to make it. And then Leroy Brown has had PC issues, so he's not able to attend at all today, which is a shame because he was a champion last season. Really wanted to see what he could do here in F3. But Floris, purple sector 2, which means if he sets his lap, and he doesn't mess it up, but he goes a little bit deep there, he'll be able to get that pole time, and he boxes. Yeah, I thought he went a little bit wide on the exit turn 14, and then, well, it's proved to us why he's boxed, because he's boxed. So, Harlem, 5/10 down in Sector 1, so we're not going to go on board with him. We'll go on board with Zoltan's, not going to set his lap, we'll go on board with Phil McKean, who I believe is about 1,200 up in Sector 2. I mean, Sector 1.
Yeah, looking good, actually. As to get back on the power, little kick at 7. This chicane is fantastic as well. Uphill, it almost encourages you to go faster. Kamsa, turn 9. Oh, well done on the rev limiter. So, Phil McKee pushing hard. Brakes hard, turn 10. Hits Apex 1 nicely. Drifts out. Does he hit Apex 2? Just about at the end. This is a good lap time though, Richie, as he comes down in towards the chicane.
Really nice, and let's see what he can do in this final part of the lap. Coming around the final corner, 15 and 16. Nice and early on the power. That is what he wants. He's going to come up to the line. Is he able to improve and get himself a little bit higher than 15th? Yes, he is. P8 for Theo McKean. Very nice there. A 16.373 puts him 3 thousandths shy of Harlan Marquis.
Oh, now completely come to a stop at the exit of the lap time. We've gone back to the pit lane, I believe. So down to 8th then as well. Great time there then. Improves from 15th to 8th as out lap times begin and the track begins to get flooded. For the last runs in qualifying, 2:22 to go on the board. And it's just a mess out there now, Richie, as well, for everybody fighting with track position.
It really is. We're going to get rid of the tyres. We're going to go and have a look at the gap to leader. There we go. So, between P1 and P2, it's 17 hundredths of a second. Then it's quite a big, quite a big gap between 1st and 20th. A few people haven't set proper times. But 1st to 17th are 6 tenths, 1st to 15th are 4 tenths. So it is pretty close in that midfield between P9 and P15. But we'll go on board with Cameron Dowd for this outlap, and then we'll swap to someone else on their actual lap, which I think Sergio Sobrino is already on. Yes, he is. Sergio Sobrino, currently 13th in the Mercedes. Let's see, is he able to improve? No, he's not, because it's saying he's on time, but he's not. He's 5 minutes on that first lap, so we'll go on board with him now. Sergio Sobrino, going to be setting his final lap of this qualifying session, coming in towards turn 1 now. Flying down this long straight, really long straight. This is in Spain. Into turn 1, very nice. Able to get on the power nice and early. Through turn 2, up in towards turn 3 now. He's got to be very careful on the throttle because you can spin very easily. One of the easiest places on the track to spin. Phil McKee's retired in the pit lane. He's done for this session. Sergio Sobrino up by a 10th in that first sector, 21.8. Now heading in towards turn 5 and 6. He's got to brake nice and late. Turn the car in, not lock up, which he does perfect. Get on the power nice and early. Drake Dempsey made the mistake in the race yesterday and binned it there. But now in towards turn 7 and 8, Sergio Sobrino comes and he's very nice and able to get on the power nice and early, which some drivers I've seen this session struggle to. As a bit of a correction. Yeah, big correction there. Oh, he's up by 3/10. Sergio Sobrino. So this is going to be an amazing lap for him if he can keep it through his final sector in towards turn 11 and 12. And he's got to be able to not go too wide because we've seen drivers invalidate there and he keeps it right on that line. Jumps the curb in turn 13, 14 and 15 in out, and he's only got turn 16 to go. Where does Sergio Sobrino put his Mercedes? Is he able to get past Oscar Villacampa or is he stuck behind? Let's see. Puts on a time of a 1:16.139. Puts in P3. Absolutely amazing there.
Checker flag is out then. Who's going to take provisional pole position? Well, I think we're seeing Sergio's on one as well as goes up into third. Nyquist goes third. 1:16.135. Modesto Mena still on the top time at the moment as now we've got traffic everywhere as they come through. Jonas Martins, I think, is still going to go through across line. Cameron down to P11 goes up the order into P6 on a 1:16.258 as well. Lewis stays 18th, 1:17.177. So it's Conley Golo's got the worry to go forward as well. Cameron down 6th then. Goes across like Jack Humphreys goes 8th. New pole time from Flores. What a time, 1:16.020. So brings that down still to take provisional pole position. Modesto Mena has to start second at best. Sergio said his lap time lefted, I think he's still on a run as well. Harlan Marquez is lefted's out of the lap time. Harlan Marquez comes across the line, only improves up to 8th position. Lefted's lost out. I think that is all qualifying roads.
What a time from Flores, a 16th lap. That is what we wanted to see. Didn't quite get the 15.9s, but we got pretty close. One person I feel sorry for, Bogdan Moldovan, 15th.
Yeah. Well, we saw that in F4.
But then again, I forgot. In his first race, I think, was it one of the Grand Prix was at Belgium. He qualified 17th and finished 3rd.
Conley Golo has been given a 5-place grid penalty for illegal blocking. And into the pit lane, Lefted's come in with no front wing.
Now, with the Cold on Golo thing, I'm not sure if that will mean a lobby restart because it depends what happened there. Because, it's this game. I hope it isn't, but the game likes to surprise us every day with something not good. Flores Wires takes pole here in Spain, followed by Modesto Mena in P2. In the AlphaTauri, followed by Jake Finch, then Vincent Nyquist, Sergio Sobrino, Jonas Martins, Cameron Dowd, Harlan Marquist, Jack Humphreys, and then Lefted takes out your top 10. And then followed by Philip Waters, Phil McKee, Oscar Villacampa, Tom Martinez, Bogdan Moldovan, Zoltan Boda, Jeremy Louis Welch, Corey DeBacca, and Coldorn Golo, who we started back at the last anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, that saved us something, but amazing. But we have a little word from our sponsor, GT Omega, when I can find the transition.
6 seconds.
Sorry for that long wait, everyone. I couldn't actually find the transition. I only had the short one because I thought there was an intro that was between the long one and the short one. It turns out there's not. So we had to chuck the short one in because the last thing I want to do is put the 30-second ad on and then we end up missing the start, which is the last thing we want. But yeah, that was an awesome qualifying session, I think, to start off the season. But Josh, who do you think will go into turn 1 first? So I'm going to say it will be Modesto Mena.
I think Modesto Mena as well, straight down towards turn 1. Looks like that's going to be the positioning. No formation lap then. Stand by. Season 32 is about to start right here, right now. Waiting to take us to the grid. It's been a long time coming. Season 32 for F3 is under starters orders. action in Barcelona. Great start for Flores, but look at Modesto Mena. Going to go right down and battle with Jake Finch down towards turn 1. The Red Bull has got a storming start. And the Ferrari and Jake Finch touching wheels with Modesto Mena. Still going to try and send it around the outside. In towards turn 2 and 3 we go. And they're still side by side. Here comes Vincent Nyquist as well. Sergio Sabrino goes up to 5th. But it's Flores who's taken the lead and has run away with it at the front. Aston Martin going out wide of Jack Humphries. Clean start so far, but what a start for the Red Bull.
Absolutely amazing start from Flores. Oh, there's a collision, big collision there with Lefted, and I think it was Zoltan Boda, the Red Bull. Giant collision there.
Bogdan's gone down to 19th, Lefted's out, and immediately called is the virtual safety car. Waiting to see if it's a full safety car procedure. Can't see another dot out on the track. I think it's virtual to begin with. See if we can see anything on the side of the monitors. No black dot, so we believe virtual safety car left it out already.
But whew, that was interesting. But we had about 10 cars going into turn 4 together. Something was going to happen, but I think what happened was Lefted was on the inside. Zoltan had a big snap and just took Lefted with him. Obviously, Lefted then got pile drived into the wall, but yeah, luckily Zoltan got away with it. So only had 1 DNF. But a shame for Connor on his first race in F3 here in season 32, and also a shame for Aston Martin. But hopefully we should be getting going soon.
Yeah, we're still in the VSC. To restart this one. Let's take a look. Biggest winners, Corey DeBacker up 4 places. Courtney Golo up 6. Lefted obviously dropped 10. Zoltan Boda has come into the pit lane for a new front wing on the Red Bull. Can we assume damage was caused there?
And we're off.
Possible. And we're green flag racing again. And again, Flores has an absolute demon start. Has got everybody else napping.
He really has. And Vincent had a really good start as well. He was only 10th behind Jake Finch. And, well, luckily for Jake, he's managed to pull that little gap a bit more. And then close behind are Yona and Harlem fighting for P6 and P7. The Alfa Romeo and the McLaren. Not something we see battling all the time in real F1, but I'm guessing PSGL we do. But yeah, Jonah has had a really good start. Obviously, back in season 31, he was in F3 as well. So he's kept his streak of being in F3 going, and maybe we'll see him in F2 one day.
And also, everyone started this race on the hard compound tyre. The cynicking me, and I hope Luke might agree if he's watching, yesterday in F2, everyone started on the hard compound tyre because rain was predicted later on in the race. If it's the same factor here, then we're in for an extremely exciting Grand Prix. As you see, Flores the Red Bull doing a 1:22.256 as the fastest lap of the race so far, as everybody else now begins to open up. DRS has been enabled, but you can't activate it until turn 9 as well. Cameron Downs just thinking about a move on the inside line, and meantime Bogdan Moldovan is going for a move up into a 17th position as well, getting past Louis Rush, and down into 18th he goes. So Louis is not doing well up there. Simon Cowell will be after him as soon as this race is over.
Yeah, but Bogdan, I don't know if he was caught up in that incident with the Red Bull, or if he just had a spin himself, but he dropped all the way down, and now he's lucky in 17th. He's caught back up into that train. Everyone between P1 and P18 are in the long DRS train, which will begin this lap. I think it's already actually begun. We'll have DRS then towards turn 10, I believe, won't we?
Yeah, DRS on the way down towards Le Calex as well, which is turn 10. Turn 9 is Campsa, which they've just blistered through as well. And Moldovan looks to be okay. Can't see any wing damage as well, upping 2.3 seconds quicker. Flores already pulled out a 1 second advantage though to Modesto Mena as well. So the Red Bull driver going to have the easier time of it down the start-finish straight as well. Mid-pack looking good. There's Jeremy as well. Glue as well going in the back now. Oscar Villacampa as we are back up towards Fiona as well. Fiona. See, like I'm doing again. Fiona. Finn McKee coming down towards turn number 1 again. Yona Martin's just ahead. DRS not providing too much of an overtaking advantage then, Richie.
Yeah, indeed. Flores. Louis had a spin down at turn 15. I think he must have hit the curb and it just sent him round. So he's now 10 seconds behind Bogdan. So that's unfortunate for him. Still unfortunate for Zoltan Boda, who's down in 19th. He's about 16 seconds behind Louis. That puts him about 26 seconds behind the whole pack. Modesto's got himself back into that 1 second. I think he just got the DRS at the last second coming at the final corner. So, he's able to be keeping just about close enough to Floris Wires.
So Floris Wires got 60% ERS battery power, 46% from Modesto Mena. Did have the DRS in towards turn 10 and is gaining by about 10th per sector, I'd say, actually. So that DRS is providing a little bit of power. Yellow sector 2.
Yeah, Louis again.
Yeah, Louis again having a spin. Oh, no.
Big shame for him indeed.
Well, he said he was going to be last anyway.
True, but he's cut in the 18th because Zoltan had an incident. So, if Zoltan didn't have the incident, he would be 19th.
True that.
So,
yeah. Vincent Nyquist, though, 2 tenths up on his last lap time. So Vincent's pushing like mad, and they're beginning to separate now. The top 2 have the advantage down towards the first corner. Great camera angle to show us that. Floris and Modesto getting ahead. Jake and Vincent 3rd and 4th, with Sergio in 5th, and Harlem in 6th position. As a battle further back, Bogdan looked to the inside, Richie, but couldn't do it.
Yeah, but he still have to go for Jeremy now coming out of turn 2. Looked for it around the outside, but unfortunately couldn't get that move done, so he's stuck behind just for now. But Bogdan's definitely got the pace over these few cars just ahead. Funny part is, there's only 1 reserve out of 4 that is in that, out of 5 that is in that top 10. Codorn, Corey, Jeremy, and Jeremy are all out the top 10. So it's not very good for the reserves in this race, is it? If it was full-time versus reserve, we all know that full-time would be winning. Apart from the fact there's about 20 more people in full-time.
That is true.
Bogdan up the inside into turn 10 on Jeremy there. And I think he's got that move done. Yes, he has. Jeremy, though, sticking right with him. But, yeah, absolutely amazing from Bogdan. He's got that move perfect. Broke just at the right time.
I think now we're going to see a possibility of rain later on in the race if they've all started on the hard tyres. So Bogdan, I think they're all struggling to switch the tyres on. That's something we're seeing. Lap times aren't that great. As Floris as well. Why is just dropping down. Modesto Mena has found some pace. This should get tasty.
It could indeed. I think any of the top 10 can win it today. Because Ika Bayana, who was leading the F2 race by a good 2 seconds, obviously ended up finishing 6th due to the rain. So, Jeffrey Rishi, I think he started, Joseph Loke started 17th, finished 1st. So absolutely anything could happen here today, and I think anyone in that top 10 has a good chance of winning this race.
Absolutely. As they continue flying through, a little bit of a wide moment there for Floris coming out of turn 9. But it's beginning to settle down now as we see Colin Baca and now switching back up to Modesto Mena.
Yep.
Okay, 7 tenths between them at the moment then. No one is having the top 17 each other separated by about half a second. It's Louis Welsh as well, who is down in 18th. Who's got a 20-second odd gap to the rest of the field. So disappointment there as they come through. To complete lap 6, start lap 7. DRS active from Modesto once again.
Modesto on 43% ERS compared to Floris, who's on 65. Some people have been asking in the chat the ERS, so there you go. And then Vincent on 83 and Jake on 75. So Modesto's definitely one on the least out of the top 4. So maybe he's not able to keep up on that raw pace. He needs a bit more ERS to be able to pull him along to Floris Wise. Because as soon as Floris gets out that 1 second, then Modesto's got to worry about Jake Finch and Vincent and so on all the way down the grid. So that's the last thing he wants.
Right, yeah, because Jake is in that faster car with Vincent right behind him as well. That we're going to be creating the DRS train that we don't want to see. So they've got to be incredibly quick and incredibly calm about it as well. Racing at Barcelona has its advantages and massive disadvantages. As Floris Wise just dropped 2 tenths of a second in that sector 2 alone. So losing time more and more and more as the Dutchman continues on.
Yep, watching Floris now, just about to get that 1 second gap, just shy of a second, 9.7 tenths, and Modesto is still able to get him within that 1 second, get that DRS, which is going to really help him down towards turn 1. But as soon as Floris gets out that 1 second, which I think he can do, he's got the pace, he's just, each lap he's getting closer and closer to that 1 second gap, once he's got that 1 second, I think it's going to be pretty sorted for him for the time being until his first pit stop.
Yeah, Lefted has left the session, but he's already out of the race, so he's just stopped watching, effectively. But did you look at the clouds on that last lap? When you were talking, I looked up at the clouds at the top of the screen as well. They are starting to get a little bit darker, so I wonder if we're going to see exactly what we saw in F2 yesterday, where rain comes in later. Bogdan's made his way up into 15th position, passing Corey Dibaka. Great job there then from Bogdan. Back up to his starting position after having been involved in the contact on the opening lap of the race as well. Hope he's up for a chat after this Grand Prix as well. I want to hear from him and see exactly what happened, because we only saw the spin for Lefted being out of the race.
Yeah, indeed. And yeah, Game Series mad. Yes, the Game Series mad. Unfortunately, it's something I can't change. It's out of my control, unfortunately, due to the lack of competence from the developers over at EA.
Yeah,
but
every time they say they changed it, they haven't really.
No, they made it worse.
Oh, Jeremy's gone round. Sorry to get a crash there. Into the wall, knocked off the front wing, gets it going again, and that is proof that Sector 3, as soon as you hit the power, there's still an opportunity to lose it into the wall there.
Yeah.
Despite renovation work, it's still like Bahrain turn 12.
It is. Yeah, but I'm on board with Bogdan Bonovan now, who's pushing after Koldun Ngolo, who hasn't got the 1 second gap to Tom. So he's now 1.5 seconds behind. I mean, Bogdan is going to be right on his tail very, very shortly. Bogdan now 2.5 tenths, 3.5 tenths now behind Koldun. He was about 6 tenths before going onto that main straight. So this is the last thing Koldun wants. He's then going to have to start defending from Bogdan soon, which means the gap between him and Tom will increase even more. Look, you can see Bogdan right on his tail, but just obviously you can't get a move in because it's very difficult to make an overtake unless you're in those DRS zones on this track. Oh, big slide from Koldun now. Bogdan's going to go up the inside into turn 7, brakes later, thinks better of it and thinks, no, that is not my move for now. And
old F4 rivals, once again, they know how to race each other. They've did it for 2 seasons. Now down towards turn 10. Atla Kalex has got the DRS. Bogdan's going to have to send it on the inside line. Doesn't want to do it, though, as Cornigala defends an inside line.
Yeah. Bogdan Payne is very clever. He knows, he's patient enough, but he wants to get past. We can see how much he's lunging forward, but sticks back at the right second, knowing the better of it. We've had a spin there from Louis Welch coming out of turn 8, meaning Zoltan Boda's now promoted to 17th. But we'll go on board with Bogdan Moldovan again now, as he's 2 tenths closer than he was on the straight last time. So we could see a move going into turn 1 for Bogdan, putting him up into 14th. Oh, he's going to get past him pretty easily. Yeah, very easily. Corey also going to get close enough. No, he's not. He sticks behind. But yeah, Bogdan now's got a 1 second gap to make up to the Williams of Tom. So the question is Bogdan able to defend Koldun now? Because, Bogdan had good pace in the DRS, but then again, he couldn't really catch up much in the non-DRS zones. Bogdan just about 3.8 tenths behind Koldun. And I think Koldun and Corey will work together and not fight too much, as obviously they don't want to lose too much time. Obviously, Alonso and Ocon learnt from that in Saudi Arabia, where they lost lots of time. So I think it was Norris, I believe, due to them fighting very, very harshly towards turn 1.
Jonah Martins is in an interesting battle with Harlan Marquez right now as well. This is another one to watch. He's getting closer and closer, second by second, and just coming into the final sector. He'll have DRS going down towards turn 1. But interesting enough, Harlan doesn't have that DRS as you were talking about. He's 1.5 seconds back to Sergio Soberano as well. So here we go from Johan Martins then. Opens up the DRS, is going to use the remaining amount of its ERS power, but just can't get close enough until it's just about the braking zone. He's going to go for a late lunge as well. Harlan goes defensive, but that just leaves that Jonah has to go straight round the outside. Brilliant moving towards turn 1. He literally frightened Marquez out the way.
Yeah, I think Marquez moved out the way on purpose there, because if he'd defended that move, it would have cost some more time to Sergio. So now they've got to work together and get towards that 1 second gap of Sergio. Yeah. Otherwise, they're not going to have really much of a chance of being in that top 5 at the end of the race. But, we'll see what happens with these two.
Sergio is being held up by Vincent Nyquist, Jake Flames, Modesto Mena, and Floris Wires as well at the top of the board. So, and Jeremy set the fast lap time in the McLaren at 1:19.759. Very
He's
good
pitted onto mediums.
Yeah, so he's predicting that he can get those mediums to the end on the wet weather as well. So looking good. Martins has closed that now, 1.7 seconds, so he can't even get the gap without the DRS.
Indeed, yeah,
So,
it's going to be a difficult one to fight, especially when you're going down towards turn 1 and turn 10. You lose a good 2 or 3 tenths of the car in front. 1.7 seconds is the gap between Sergio and Martin there. Yona now, so yeah, I can't see that going down anytime soon. But Jack Humphries currently on the back of Cameron Dowd, so two F4 drivers. Jack, I think, driving the Red Bull and Cameron in the Williams. Theon and Harlan fighting.
Yeah, and McKee's past Marquez in towards turn 1. Nice move there. So Harlem's just dropping back. And that's a shame, actually, because that Alfa Romeo, I drove it in the lap attack that you saw earlier on in the programme.
Yeah.
I think the Alfa Romeo's got one of the best drives of the entire game. That and the Red Bull. You can literally just throw it to any corner, and it just, even on basic setup, it's just got so much more grip compared to the rest of the cars. So I like the Alfa Romeo.
Even though the cars don't actually have any difference in performance on equal, they still feel different. Like, for me, I can't drive the Mercedes, but I can drive the Alfa Romeo. You know, I think a lot of it's down to personal preference, what you like driving, what you don't like driving. You know, you can see some drivers 1 week in one car perform really well. The next week, they swap cars and they're really terrible. You know, it can all be down to the car. Even though it's not got any significant change, it's all mental change. But
every time I drive a Mercedes, it's like the front is like a horse. Its front just drags on for ages as well. You just can't get it in to the corners. And the Ferrari, the rear wags like a dog instead of a prancing horse. The Red Bull is pretty much just like it's on a can of Red Bull. And the Alfa Romeo, it works, but it breaks down every now and then, like a true Alfa as well.
But Theo McKee and Vincent doing a really good job for the Haas team there. I think if Haas would end the race like this, 4th and 7th, they would end up taking the lead of the constructors, I think, because Modesto and Cameron Dowds are 2nd and 9th. I think 4th and 7th might just be a bit better in terms of points.
12 and... Oh, let's see how good my math is. 12 and 8. So that makes 20. So, yeah, I think you're right.
But, really nice start from the top 5. Jake, he's just kind of sitting there, isn't he? He's not really getting involved in anything. He's just sitting there in that DRS train. He doesn't look like he's pushing, and he doesn't look like he has to defend from Vincent. So he's looking for a good P3 here, I think. If it stays like it is, and it doesn't rain, which I don't think it will, it doesn't look like it's going to.
Looks like it's okay.
We should get pit stops around lap possibly 16, 17, I think. I'm not too sure. I don't race this track very often, but I think we'll start seeing pit stops around lap 16, 17. We're going to go back on board with Jack Humphries as he's still in the back of Cameron Dowds. He's always close, but never close enough to make a move. So we'll have to see, you know, when he's able to get close enough, get a move to turn 1 sorted.
Marquez cut the corner just ahead of them at the chicane. So he tried to get some more time, and that's going to leave him vulnerable now to Cameron Downs and Jack Humphries. Supposed to head down towards turn number 1. No one's going to make the move, but Harlan cut the corner and got a 3-second penalty for it as well.
Yep, and I'm now being ordered to show ERS of most drivers. Right, 51% for Floris and then 46% for Modesto. Jake on 84, 73 for Vincent, and then we'll end it off with Sergio on 81. So, yeah, Modesto and Floris have got a lot less ERS on the 3rd, 4th and 5th half, but they don't need to worry about pushing because they're just sitting behind having this nice little DRS train. But apart from that, there's not really much going on, is there, in this race?
No,
I thought there'd be a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is true. We'll look at Cameron. He's on the back of Harlem. Harlem's nearly 1 second out on Theon.
Who's had a rain cloud for me now, Richie. I can just see at the top of the screen.
True.
It's yellow sector 1. It's one of the McLarens, and it's Jeremy is off again. And I think he's damaged the front wing actually this time. Just checking on the exterior camera. No, he's just had a spin. Okay, so we'll continue with Cameron Downs in P9, Jack Humphries P10 with their close battle again.
If anyone in the chat does know if there's any ETA of rain, there might not be, but if there is, let us know in the chat so we can know what's going to happen. But yeah, at this point it doesn't look like it'll rain, but we never know. Cameron Dowds 5 tenths behind Harlan Marquis. Obviously, you're not going to be making a move soon, but Harlan seems to be dropping off that pace a little bit. He was about 2 tenths, well, he actually was a few tenths ahead of Jonah, and he's now, just over a second, 1.1 seconds behind Jonah.
The hard tyres sometimes do spoil the racing. We should have medium and softs. I think, I know Connor's watching. Connor, make it mandatory for season 32 race 2 that we have to use medium and softs only. The hard spoil all our fun. because everyone can't overtake as well. But when it rains like last night in F2, my God, does it turn into a great strategy, because suddenly everyone who started on the hard tyres look like geniuses. The problem is, as me and Luke were talking about last night, Richie, if it rains late on in the race, which I think they're all gambling on it, because it's lap 15, they're all starting on hard tyres, they're going to be on old slicks with hards in wet weather. When ideally, when it's damp, you shouldn't go on inters. You should be on the soft compound tyre. Brand new
Louis
set.
spun at turn 3.
See, it's Louis.
Yep, it is. Jake and Sergio are pitting, so they'll go to medium. So yeah, I don't think it's going to rain. I think it's a dry strategy. Moving on to mediums, obviously.
Yeah. So everyone's pitting now, and they're putting on medium compound tyres.
But
mediums go on. A few little bit of changes to damaged wings, I noticed. So Jack's going to come out last overalls. Corey DeBacker is in from 16th position. So everyone from 12th down has pitted. So Jake Finch, Sergio Sobrero's come in, Harlan Marquez, Jack Humphries, Corey DeBacker. They've all put on mediums. And going wide, actually, was Harlan Marquez going to 15th, and Jack Humphries goes to 14th. Harlan went straight into the gravel coming out the pit lane.
Oh, that is not good.
So,
Harlan. Yeah, Harlan's definitely not very good at these cold tyres, but then again, cold tyres are a pain for anyone. Harlan's lost that position, unfortunately, but maybe he'll be able to gain it back. We'll see. But Floris, Modesto, and Vincent will probably pit in the next 1 or 2 laps, I think. Vincent just out of the 1 second gap to Modesto, so Modesto and Floris don't really have to worry about.
Modesto and Nyquist into the pits. You are predicting correctly today, Richie. Floris keeps the race lead. Is Jonas Martins in 4th going to come in? No, nope. He goes through to take 2nd. Philip comes in 2, but we've got a yellow flag. Someone's round to the last corner. It's Cornely Golo, who has spun it coming into the pit lane in the Alpine. So is cut across the pit entrance. Won't get a penalty for that, but locked in under braking and comes in. So he's lost about another 3 positions on top of the already pitting time. So he's lost it there. And predictably, everyone going on to medium compound tyres. Another yellow sector 3 now. This time leaving the pit lane. What's happening there? It was Bogdan Moldovan, I think, having a problem coming out.
Jake Finch on Modesto Mina on the outside to turn 4. Is going to break later. Modesto pitted later and has actually dropped back because of that. Jake Finch takes net lead at the moment in P7 with a 10.6 gap to Tom in the Williams. So very nice there from Jake Finch. Pitted earlier, got the benefit from it. Sergio Sobrino's ahead of Vincent Nyquist. But the question is now, when do the top 5 pit? Let's have a look at Floris. He's got to pit this lap, surely.
Great spot there. That's why we need to be on the same monitors as well. Great spot there. Great move from and now we've got more with Floris having a bit of a problem coming into the pit lane. And now here's Jonas Martins. Does he stay or come in? No, he pits 2. So it's going to be Finn McKill who takes the lead of this race. Cameron Downs goes to 2nd. Oscar Villacampa takes 3rd.
But will Jake be able to benefit and get past Jonas and Floris?
Why is there a yellow sector 1?
Louis.
Oh, no.
Modesto and Jake into turn 1. Modesto breaks later. Jake has to take these on. He spins round there. Jake off the track. That's going to allow Vincent Nyquist through. Puts Vincent into that net P3. Jake Finch now all the way down behind Sergio Sobrino.
Yeah, Sergio Sobrino goes through. Jonas Martins came out too late from the pit lane there as well to take advantage of that. Louis got a penalty as well, I'm being told now, for track limits abuse. So his day going from bad to worse. I mean, he did tell us he was going to be 19th as well, which is disappointing.
That's true.
I don't know if he's tried to be last, but you're in F3. Surely your goal should be to win the races, not just to muck about the back.
Well,
come on, Louis. Go on.
But Jake, I think his tyres got a little bit hot there because he seemed to drop back a little bit coming out of turn 3. He had to readjust the car, meaning he lost another position to Sergio, which is the last thing he wanted. He could have stayed in P4, but played it safe, got the tyres through turn 3. So Sergio took that position. Theon and Cameron are in. I don't know if Oscar is. Oscar is not. No. Oh, Oscar's staying out. Same as Tom Martinez. They're going for a really late pit stop. It's going to be close.
So they're banking on any other weather, but it's blue skies. So I think if they got told rain was coming when they were choosing their tyre strategies on the grid. And Louis out of the race in the pit lane.
In the pit lane, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not ended well for him at all, is it?
No, bad start. Bad start. But
we'll go on board with Jack Humphries going around the outside of Cameron Desi in turn 2. Obviously, Cameron's just come out the pit lane, he's on colder tyres. And now Jack's gone up the inside on Cameron Desi, going to take the move in towards turn 4. But Cameron ain't going to back out just yet. And Jack with the outside line.
Yep.
And he's got it. Very nice there from Jack Humphries. Cameron Desi ahead of Harlem Marquis. Harlem's going to have to get a move and get past Cameron as soon as he can. The issue for Harlem is that, because of his 3-second time, that could drop in a few positions, depending on how close everyone will be after pit stops.
I'll tell you what, Codemaster's genius thing of retiring in the pit lane and coming back on the track and nearly causing a full safety car's happening again with Louis Carter being out on the track as they come through. But Oscar Villacampa is leading at the moment and has just come into the pit lane. Does Martinez come in too? No, Martinez takes the lead and Villacampa has got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well. So it's going from bad to worse.
Floris, fastest lap there. He's now, I think, 1.7 seconds ahead of Modesto. So his late pit stop worked. It's put him ahead by over 1.6 seconds. Jonah, he's just on the back of Theon McKenna coming in towards turn 1. The issue Theon's got is he's got 5 seconds to make up to the back of Jake Finch, which means Theon's going to be under pressure by all these cars in this train just behind him. The train goes all the way to about P13 with Oscar Villacampa, who's just going to the pit lane on his fresh medium tyres. He's going to have a little bit of benefit of those, being as he's pitted about 4 laps later than some of the drivers here on track. So we'll see if that makes any difference near the end of the race. But Tom, leaving it really late. I don't know if he's going to try and pit onto the softs, maybe. I wouldn't see that happening because he'd have to pit around lap 25 for that to work. But we'll see what he does.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't on the. He's isn't in the game for points, I don't think. So I think his best bet is stay out long, do a bit of a Yarno strategy, and hopefully get a safety car.
Yeah,
that could be what he's doing. Yeah, it really could. It really would help. Yarno only 6 tenths behind Theon, so we'll move up to Vincent Nyquist, who's looking to take a podium on his first race here. Tom Pitts onto, well, it'll be mediums, of course.
Mediums then.
But
13,
Vincent,
actually no, 13 laps on the softs is doable.
It's going to be close. I don't think it'd be wise. But yeah, Vincent looking to take a P3 here in his first race since winning the championship in F5 last season. He's having a good start here in F3. You know, I think he's definitely deserving that place here. You know, he's only 13 years old, if I remember correctly, so he's, you know, really young, and he's, you know, on the pace of some of these drivers who are a lot older than him. So Vincent's definitely a lot of talent for many F1 teams to be looking out for in the future for his esports career.
Watch out, Jarno Altmaier. Watch out, Barry Butterman as well. This is going to be another upcoming talent as well as they continue to race on. Martin's P7 at the moment, but there's Vincent Nyquist running round. 5 tenths behind Modesto. I honestly think he might get him here, you know, Richie. I think he might have a bit of a go here.
Coldham's crash at turn 3.
Oh, is that going to cause a safety car? Yeah, hello. Something's been deployed. It is. It's the full safety car. Safety car deployed. Wow, this changes the complexion of the Grand Prix massively. Who's going to dive into the pit lane and risk it for a set of soft tyres? And now, that's made the pit stops redundant that we've just had.
The issue is...
Jeremy's got a drive-through penalty for speeding on the safety car.
But the issue is, though, I said Tom should have said it for a safety car. He pitted on that lap. He would have came out. If he didn't pit, he would have came out like P7. That is a shame. I don't think anyone will pit for softs. There'd be no point doing that. It's way too early, in my opinion. I mean, way too early.
He had a little think. He had a little dive into the pits to see if it's going to happen. But now he's going to catch the safety car. Is anybody going to dive in? If I was Martinez... hang on. Villacampa's pitting. Yeah, and I reckon Martinez might take it too.
Corey. Yeah. They're all taking that risk. Nothing to lose.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Martinez has stayed out. Now the Aston Martin safety car's been caught by everybody. So this does change the complexion. It has to be softs. Come on, Bogdan, Bakker, Villacampa.
Mediums.
It's new to the mediums.
I was trudging. See, I thought it would be a bit too early for softs, and I thought they were taking a big gamble, but they've used the tyre allocation to their best, and they've chosen a set of medium tyres. That could help. Bogdan was 13th anyway. He's pitted. He's going to come out 13th. He's got 1 lap old better tyres than Tom. but then he's got 5, 6 lap better tyres than everyone else up all the way to first.
Yeah, I
So,
think you're right. Good idea.
yeah. Jeremy's pitted, but he's also got a drive-through penalty, which he'll have to serve after the safety car comes in. So Jeremy's basically out this race at this point. Zoltan is working his way back into 16th. He was last at one point. Now he's in 16th, so he's gained 4 positions. Could possibly gain some more, depending on how he's able to do on the restart, because he looked quick. I think it was P12 when he had that incident with, I think it was Leftage. Yeah, that was Leftage, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll be able to make a few more positions and possibly a few points, because obviously Harlem has got his 1 3-second penalty, which is the last thing he wanted, because everyone's going to be close together when the safety car goes in, of course. Meaning if Harlem doesn't able to get a 3-second gap to the person behind him in 9 laps, he's going to possibly lose 5, 6, 7 positions.
Yeah, I think you're right. This is going to be a massive problem now for Marquez.
It really will.
I'm just trying to work out where 3 seconds would put him actually on the board. It'll drop him behind Moldovan, won't it? So it's out the points.
Yeah, it would. So maybe 6 positions a bit ambitious, but 3 is still a lot. Yeah, put Philip into the... Philip's technically in the points at the moment, followed by Tom Martinez. Bogdan, I think, could just about get there, but obviously, you know, we've still got 10 laps to go. Probably be not 8 or 9 racing laps, depending on how quickly Jeremy and Zoltan can catch up to the back of the pack. But yeah, this race could be interesting now. Obviously, you've got the 3 in 13th, 14th and 15th is going to be making a charge after the guys with a lot older tyres. So will we see some change of positions in these first few laps? Obviously, the DRS won't be enabled until 3 laps have been completed without the safety car. Yeah. Meaning we won't get DRS till at least lap 27 or 26, depending on when it comes in.
So it's effectively a 5-lap sprint race with DRS, but possibly 7 laps in total. This is going to be insane.
Yeah.
Safety car. Well, what's the gap between everyone? It's less than 10 seconds, but it needs to be less than a second between everybody.
We're going to look at the. We'll have a little look at the chat. Barry says Tom needs it 1 more lap earlier. Correct. Yeah. Drive through big time. That's for Jeremy. Yeah, Jeremy's out of the race, unfortunately, I think. And then Barry also says, "Come on, Jonah." Or Jonah, depending on how you say it. I don't know what the actual pronunciation is, because I know many J's are pronounced with a Y in Dutch, and I'm sure Jonah is Dutch. Hello, Ruben Pedonio.
Do you want to take us to the restart?
Yes, I can do. Floris going to be leading us off. I didn't even see the safety car was in, but it is. So Floris obviously going to be wanting to defend from Modesto, and Vincent on this restart will go on board with Sergio Sabrino, and we'll see what the start looks like for the top 3. Obviously wanted to be gaining some positions in the first corner. Oh, and Sergio went a bit wide, but he managed to catch back up. And now, let's see what happens. Sergio getting a nice run on Vincent Nyquist. Vincent opted to really defend from Sergio. He's had a bit of a Max Verstappen tactic there, like with Lewis Hamilton coming into Zandvoort. Also, Modesto and Floris going into turn 1 together. And Floris, Modesto gets spun around by Vincent.
Oh, it goes from bad to worse. It goes from bad to worse. I don't believe it. Vincent up to second, but... Oh, Modesto's down to 17th. Look at Finn's also dropped down to 17th as well.
Yeah.
Max Verstappen style restarts don't work.
No. Vincent into P2 now, followed by Sergio, and then Jake Finch. He's all right on the back of Sergio, but he's not able to get a move just yet. And, Fion's been disqualified for being the wrong way on track. That's a shame for Fion. Really, really a shame there for him. I don't think we've got a safety car. No, we haven't. But... No. This is going to get spicy today. Sergio is looking for a chance on the podium here today. Also, he's Jake Finch. Jack Humphries, he's had a really good restart, hasn't he? Up to P5.
That's what, 5 places where he came into the pit lane?
Yep. Also, yeah, but Modesto now is 16th, 1.5 seconds behind the pack, which is, you know, it's a shame. You know, he was definitely second quickest on track behind Floris.
So, if he launches a protest, Vincent might not stay second overall.
Depends,
he might get disqualified or penalty applied.
It depends. Yeah, it depends what happened with Sergio, because obviously we was watching Modesto and then you got spun round by either Vincent or Sergio. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Modesto's got past Jeremy. Jeremy's pitted. He'll probably retire. No, he's not retired. That's odd, but okay.
It's the drive-through, isn't it? He's getting rid of his drive-through penalty without speeding under the safety car.
Bogdan Moldovan on the back of Tom Martinez now coming out turn 3. Tom Martinez also on the back of Philip Waters coming in towards turn 4. And, no, Tom, look how close he gets to the back of that Ferrari. Close, but luckily not close enough to cause any damage. As now, Philip is also catching up right to the back of Harlem, who will drop at least 6 positions. Maybe I got that right. Yeah. So Harlem's got a lot of work to do. He's right behind Jonah as well. Jonah's had a pretty good restart. So has Cameron Dowds and Jack, I have to mention. Cameron in 6th place. You know, he was 4th in F4 in the championship. He's now running 6th in the first race. Oh, and that's Oscar Villacampa, who went up the inside. He's caused a big collision. He has caused a collision there. Went up the inside. I believe he hit Bogdan Moldovan.
No, yeah, Moldovan's down 14th.
So Moldovan's definitely one to have some words about that. So let's see if we can have a chat with Bogdan after and see what he thinks of that incident there, because that was definitely Villacampa's fault. He went. Yeah. He was ambitious. He tried it. It's not worked out, obviously.
What's that old Top Gear phrase? Ambitious but rubbish.
Yeah. And I suppose you could also use the argument of saying, well, I'm just copying Senna. If you go for a gap that, what is it? Go for a gap that doesn't exist, you're not a racing driver. So you've got 2 contradicting arguments there. But on board with Sergio, DRS has been enabled this lap. Will we be able to see possibly a move from Sergio and Vincent?
I certainly hope so. Vincent needs to stay in 2nd position and try and get as much time as possible to Sergio, but Sergio's under pressure as well from Jake Finch right behind him. Jack Humphreys running P5. Cameron Downs, amazing performance right now in Formula 3. After spending 2 seasons in Formula 4, he's doing amazing now, being promoted to running in 6th in his first Grand Prix. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jack was a reserve driver last year, not a permanent driver in F4. He was sort of floating around everywhere. So Cameron's actually the highest F4 driver, as Villacampa gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So yeah,
that's a
Cameron's
shame.
actually the highest F4 promotional.
That's good for Cameron, isn't it?
Massively.
But we see in the chat, Remco says, go Yona. Yep, Yona's doing pretty good in 7th. And then Cameron says he's not bad for a 13-year-old. He's really not bad for a 13-year-old. He's definitely... He could definitely make 2 esports one day, and with the dad like Cameron's dad, I'm sure that will definitely be made to happen. I think Cameron's dad can say a few things to some teams to convince them to let him in. Definitely be good for a development driver. But back to the racing. I don't think we've got any moves coming up from any drivers, but Jake Finch getting a little bit closer to the back of Sergio Sobrino. 5/10 of the gap between them. And then Christian Libanov says Nick Vist low-key goated. He's doing a pretty good job at the moment, but was that collision his fault? Will he drop positions due to that collision? I'm not sure if it was him or Sergio that hit him. And then, we've got everyone here in the chat. Brock Bear says, let's go Jack Humphreys. Jack Humphreys doing amazing. Let's see if we can get some more support for someone else. Come and get Floris Wise in here. Sergio. ERS2, P2, P3. 25, 27 and 38.
So the gap's still closing. I'll tell you what, Floris Wise just checked out. 1.8 seconds in the front. Cody DeBacker, reserve driver, running now in P10 in the Alpine. Literally got home. 5 minutes later, was in the sim. Unbelievable. It was a reserve that was known 5 minutes in advance and is now running P10 ahead of Tom Martinez in the 97. Oh, this is going incredibly well.
Really is, really well. Let's see if Tom is out. If Zoltan's going to get past Tom, mixed up there, and I think he might get close enough. Let's have a look at Zoltan. No, he sticks back. But Zoltan, he's had a good, he's performed well considering his incident with Lefted. He started, I think, around that midfield, dropped down to last, and he's now chucked himself up to 12th. Possibly looking for an 11th if he can get past Tom. Tom's not got that ultimate pace. I thought he'd have a lot more pace than he has. But look, Zoltan right on the back. Just can't get past him. The FES driver looking to get past the F1 YouTuber. Oh, big side front Tom on the exit there. You could see the car really not wanting to work his way. And that's obviously, like I said, on lap 1, that's where Drake Dempsey lost it in the first race in F2.
And a big snap then from Tom as well. Zoltan Boda, can he get through the inside line to turn 10? No, he's not going to go for a move on the inside line, although gets very close to the exit. Another slide from Tom Martinez as well. And it might just happen coming down to the chicane if he feels a bit brave on the inside line as well. Into turn 13 now for Boda. No, it's going to be a start-finish straight move, isn't it?
It looks like it's at this point, but Tom's got that DRS. Oh, Zoltan has a bit of a snap there. Had to correct the car.
Here we go. DRS open, 2 techs down. It's not until the second half of the straight that we see the advantage going to be pulled in. But I think Martinez also with the DRS just
Yeah.
negates that for a while.
But we've also got in the chat, Go Flores, my Colin Proud. We've also got come on, Philip the Playboy Waters. Philip's got his own little nickname. Jack
The
Humphries, yes we
Playboy?
can. Yeah, Philip the Playboy in quotation Waters. So do we refer Philip as the Playboy from now on? You know, Fabi, tell us. Do you want us to refer him as a Playboy? We will. You know, your wish is our command.
Lewis Welsh is Louis Walsh. So
yeah, true. So we've got the Playboy, we've got Louis Walsh. Who's next?
We need a Simon Carroll, so somebody needs to wear white t-shirt.
See, I'm sure Bogdan will do a good job at that.
Oh,
you know,
Zoltan Boda trying to go around the outside and towards turn 10, maybe get the switch back as well. Not going to work out that opportunity. I know you're seeing now the same pictures as I am through 10, 11 and 12. But Boda was sensing all opportunity, can't do it as well.
Max says some points for the Wash Germans. Wow. We've also got Aussie, Jack in the chat as well from Slammer. Everyone's having their own little nickname songs. You know, what's next?
Comes Boda. Yeah, Boda's got him. Can he see a way through? On the inside line, it's going to go very, very low round the outside. Zoltan Boda sees it round the outside. Yes! Out to 11th, but he's going to fight it. Martinez on the inside line. They're drifting round turn 3. Uphill towards turn number 4 in the high braking zone. Martinez on the inside line. Zoltan cuts back. Brilliant side-by-side action between these two as well. And he's going to dive on the inside of the 5. No, that would have been a Boda Sia moment, not a Boda move.
But what a defence from Tom Martinez. Bravo. Hats off to him. That was absolutely amazing. I thought Zoltan had him easily, but no. Tom fought him back into turn 3. That was something you don't see very often. Reminded me a bit of Verstappen versus Russell. Also, Cameron Davis and Jack Humphries fighting. Cameron Davis getting through on Jack Humphries. Also, Jonah looking to get a move on Jack, but luckily, looking for Jack, doesn't get through on him. But this is going to be close now because Jack seems to have a little bit of lost pace as Jonah is just 2.5 seconds behind Cameron Dowds, 1.1 seconds behind Jake Finch. Oh, what's happened there?
Oh, contact! They're riding each other! Wow! Somebody needs to blare that because that is not for PG. That's not PG. That's all. That's R-rated. As now here comes Marquez on the inside line. Humphries as well goes from the inside. And Jack Humphries taking his name a bit too far there in the last chicane. And he's out. Humphries is disconnected.
Oh, that's horrible, but so back laughing then. Wow.
He's in the way of everybody now. Blimey.
Yep.
So Humphries has been disconnected. That's a shame. Internet must have given up the ghost.
Yep, and now Jack Humphries being overtaken by absolutely everyone, which means Tom Martinez will be able to get a point here after his big battle with Zoltan Boda.
Finn McKee says no comments on my race. There was actually earlier on in the broadcast.
What was it now? What was the comment?
We're driving the wrong way.
Oh, yeah, that was your comment. See ya.
But I was actually singing praise.
Oh, Martinez. Oh wait, no, forgotten. That's the car that's out. Yeah, but look at Jake gaining on Sergio. 3.5 tenths between those two coming out of turn 12. But that's the thing I hate about this chicane. It never promotes racing. There's no racing in this final sector whatsoever. Apart from if you're looking to get it out of turn 10. I'm going to watch Modesto. There's no, I've got tricks again. He isn't passing anyone. He's passing the car that's not here.
Look at Jake there. He's got the DRS trying to bring the toe. And Sergio Sabrina's a sitting duck in towards turn number 1 as Humphries comes into the pit lane, presumably to retire. But no, turn 10, not good for racing. Very good for mating. No, we found out as well with Formula. That's how baby Formula 2 cars are born, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
live on air. As Jeremy gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, Humphries put on soft compound tyres.
Well, you know, we've had our fair share of stories and jokes, but this season, it's a bit different to last. Oh. Last season, it was more joking about the fact people were, well, we had the fake Yana Watmia. This season, however, we've got, well, yeah.
Where's George? Where's George Morgan on that thing? Because that happened in when the game glitched in F1 21 at Monza. We had riding cars and it was quite hard to drive. So I bet half the production team as well that run PSGL had their heart in their mouths when they saw that little glitch come back. And if George is watching, He's definitely having nightmare flashbacks. It's like
Definitely.
when Michael
But
Myers comes back from the dead. Go on.
I'd like to say it's the final lap of the race. Well, actually, I don't want
Oh,
to say what it
blimey.
is, but it is. Where did that come from? I don't have a clue.
We were saying it
Um,
was done the first 15 laps. As soon as you have pit stops and the safety car, it's
it's
got
been
exciting
interesting.
again.
Jack's pitted. Wonder why.
Okay.
Why has he chose to pit?
Soft.
Oh,
He's
wait, he's
fast
damaged. He would have had
maybe.
damage. Ignore me. Forget that.
Right.
But now is the main battle between Sergio and Vincent. Vincent needs to be able to hold up Sergio. Going, I mean, yeah, that's it. Yeah, going in towards turn 10 because that's the only real chance Sergio's got. Jake Finch also, he's only got that chance really going into turn 2. We've also got Holland and Yona fighting for 6th. I don't think Holland's going to fight too hard because he wants to be able to keep his gap as high as possible to Philip. Brock Bear says Jack's game crashed.
Yes, I was about to say that, yeah. And Finn says as well, no, I disqualified because I just sat there after I got killed. I see. Anyway, into the last sector now. Racing is on. Flores Wiseau, 2.7 seconds ahead. Vincent second. Sergio Sabino third. Looking good as I hand over to Richie.
Yep, and Flores Wiseau, he's coming around turn 12, 2.8 seconds lead to Vincent Nyquist. Absolutely amazing performance by the Red Bull driver tonight. Flores making a return to PSGL. Let's see as he takes over the checkered flag to take the first win. Season 32, here in F3, Flores Wiseau wins the Spanish Grand Prix. Followed by Vincent Nyquist, who takes second after winning the F5 Championship. Followed by Sergio, Jake Finch, Cameron Dave Jonah, Harlem, who got dropped all the way down out of the top 10. Philip Kodabaka, Tom Martinez, and Zoltan Boda take out the top 10. Then we've got Modesto Mania, had a really bad restart. Got took out by one of the podium sitters. Drops then to P11, followed by Bogdan Moldovan, who doesn't score points here today. That's a shame for him. Harlan Marquis drops into 13th, followed by Oscar Villacampa, Jack Humphreys, and Jeremy, who will take out the final position here at the Spanish Grand Prix. But, yeah, what a shame for Modesto.
Yeah. What a Grand Prix, though. What an absolutely fantastic race. Flores Wise takes the opener here in Barcelona.
He does indeed. Driver of the day, you know what? I'm going to go for something a bit different. My driver of the day is Zoltan Boda.
Really?
Yep, I'm going to go driver of the day. Bar lap 1, we'll pretend that doesn't exist. We'll just do what Lewis Hamilton fans want to do. Void lap 58, void lap 1. Driver of the day, easily. 19th was 40 seconds behind. Safety cars helped him, of course. But he's been fighting back those positions. Amazing battle with Tom Martinez. Absolutely amazing. So, driver of the day, in my opinion. Cameron's dad says, yes, my boy. Yeah, absolutely amazing from Cameron. I think, was he 5th? Let's have a little look. I think he was 5th anyway.
Well,
Cameron was 5th, yeah. If you can get Cameron in the comments box, that would be amazing, Cameron's dad. Pass that little message down. But Flores, absolutely amazing. Takes the win here by 3 seconds. We'll ignore the 0.3 that he's off. But yeah, absolutely amazing. The fastest lap, did that go to Jack Humphreys? No, it went to Jeremy, a 17.8. So that was, he must have pitted really late. Because look, his fastest lap was at least second quicker than Flores's. But absolutely amazing Grand Prix. The start.
You managed to get the whole results then, because I couldn't do it. I just tried. Yeah, so looking good.
Sorry, looking at every. Yeah, sorry, we're looking at every single screen there. Sorry about that one, but we're back on the intermission screens. Hello, but absolutely amazing race that was. The first 15 minutes, as I said, was not 15 laps was boring, absolutely boring. No offense to any of the drivers, but then after that safety car, they brought us a show indeed. Absolutely amazing from those drivers. But
I really want to hear from Corey DeBacker if you want to come in and have a conversation with us. That'd be fantastic. I really want to hear from Flores as well. I want to hear from Cameron, who was our best promotion driver from F4. But Vincent Nyquist as well won the F5 championship, gets promoted up. So another fantastic one. Should we hear from our race winner? Brilliant.
Yeah, bring him in. Bring him in
as well. Flores, hello, can you hear us?
Yeah.
What a race.
Of course I can hear you.
What a race. Absolutely fantastic. How does it feel?
Sweet. It feels very sweet because I've been waiting for this for a long time, and to do it with such dominance in 3-second gap and just consolidating the gap is just amazing.
What was going on the restart there? Because we were saying commentary, it was like a Max Verstappen style wiggle
Yeah,
as well coming through. That caused some drama into turn one.
yeah. What you mean the what do you mean actually the from the
Safety
first
car restart.
safety car, the moment when I went on throttle or
Yeah, off throttle, and you were weaving on the start finish straight as well when we came to the
yeah,
restart.
because I knew Modesto had more straight line speed than me. Um, and I had an okay restart, but he had also a great restart. So I needed to break the toe. That's what I wanted to do. And then that's basically what I did. Just breaking the toe, not any weaving or something like that. Just breaking the toe.
And as well, first win of the season then. You've already said it was brilliant to do it in such dominance as well. Do you feel confident enough that you've got a good car under you, good setup as well for most of the tracks this year? Are you going to make another run for the titles?
Another run. This is gonna be my first run for the title, so I'm gonna
You've raced here before for titles.
I'm gonna do my very
fine.
best. I'm gonna do my very best. This is a great start to the season. Also, results on both our finishing P10, so taking home some valuable points for the team. Is really good, and yes, my eyes are on the championship.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Fantastic.
I've got one more question before you go. How do you pronounce your last name?
Vayers.
Vayers, okay. Because
Yes,
I was in
exactly.
the
Right,
SRC
okay, we'll write that
Discord the
down.
other day, and I got told how to pronounce it, but that doesn't help me when I don't actually hear it. But thank you.
Yeah.
We now
Need
at
to
least
hear
know
it.
how to say it.
No
But
worries.
thanks for joining us, Floris. It was an absolutely amazing race, and we hope to see you next week in Bahrain.
Thank you very much.
So see you later. Have a good one.
See you.
And if you can
Right,
drag
let's-
Cameron Dowds in,
yeah.
Josh, that would be nice.
Right. Cameron, can you hear us? Hello. I really hope his mic's working.
Oh, sorry.
Cameron? Hello. Brilliant. Finally to hear from
Sorry.
you. A promotion up from F4. Best F4 promotion driver. That was fantastic. Some great racing. How did it go for you out there? I think there's a delay.
Cameron?
I can hear you now. Hi, I can hear.
Yes. Hello. Right, can you hear us?
Yep.
Fantastic. Yeah. Best promotion F4 driver. Great result. Great overtaking. How was it for you in the car today then?
Yeah, it was quite intense. Qualifying was alright. I had quite a good middle sector, but my first and final was a bit meh. But in the race, yeah, it was quite fun. There was a few overtakes. I felt my race pace was a lot better than my qualifying pace. And there was a bit of luck. There was like 2 people that got took out, and then I think Jack lagged out, so I was just able to take advantage of that. And then my setup, I had quite a lot of straight line speed, and I was able to save battery quite easily, so I didn't have too much pressure from behind, which was nice. So I could just push on in front, and yeah, it was a good race.
Yeah, it was really good indeed. Obviously, last season you scored points every single race. You're the only driver to do so last season in F4. Do you think you're able to carry that streak into this season in F3?
Maybe, hopefully.
And obviously, you was at one point technically in contention for the title. Do you think you're able to do that this season, or do you think it's a bit far fetched for now?
I reckon it might be a bit far fetched, but you never know.
Indeed, but absolutely amazing results. And going into Bahrain, are you excited for that race, or is it not one of the tracks you really like?
It's a bit in the middle. I'm alright with Bahrain, but there's more tracks I like.
Yeah.
Which one are you most looking forward to, Cameron?
Probably Silverstone.
Definitely.
Nice.
Home Grand Prix.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, thanks for joining us, Cameron. It's nice to have you in here with us, and we hope to see you next week and see what you're able to do in the car.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
okay,
that
I think that about wraps it up because no one else is in the waiting room for us as well. What an opening race!
Absolutely amazing race. Yeah, coming to F3, I expected a lot, but I think I definitely didn't have my hopes with as much as I should have, because that race was absolutely amazing. They made such a dull race into such a good one. And I'd like to also comment on was it Reese and George? I think it was in F4.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks for taking over from us. It was nice.
great job.
But
from
yeah,
what
it's
I
still
saw,
weird
yeah.
being in here in F3. It really is. But
It's
I
weirder
think
when you get higher up
it
as well.
is. It really is.
Deputising.
But I think
I just want to leave quickly. Sorry to
Mhm.
go across. Cameron's still in with us. Cameron, can you still hear us?
Yeah.
Your dad's just put in. Well done, proud of your son.
Yeah, thank you.
So
Absolutely fantastic. Great then. Thanks, Cameron. Glad you're still here for that. I'll throw it back to you then, Richie, as well.
Yep. I don't think there's anything left from me apart from well, amazing race, amazing drivers, and me and Josh are going to be more than happy to be back next week for Bahrain.
Yeah, tight and twisty circuit as well. Always a drama, always going to be more exciting. And more double barrel. We've got the PlayStation not starting off the week anymore. So the next time you'll see us in action will be for PCF2. Myself and Chris will be commentating. Then on Thursday, F4 and F6 are on first. And then alongside us here on F3 will be the F5 broadcast as well. So we've got plenty to choose from this year. Then on Sunday and Monday the following week as well, you can join Jess and the PS guys as well for all of the action from that as well. It's been a great opening week, and I'm enjoying this already as we get going. A lot of more competitive drivers this season as well, and I can't wait for Bahrain, Richie.
Nor me. But that's it from me. And Josh, goodbye.
Bye-bye.
This broadcast was brought to you by GT Omega, proudly supporting PSGL.